The truth behind Rhaenys' betrayal at Aegon's coronation. Imagine having the power to end a civil war before it even starts, the chance to incinerate your enemies with dragonfire while they are literally trapped in a room with nowhere to run, and then just choosing not to because of reasons. That is exactly what Rhaenys Targaryen did at Aegon's coronation, and the internet has not stopped arguing about it since. Was it mercy? Was it wisdom? Or was it the most catastrophic case of hesitation in Westerosi history? If you're ready to dive into one of the most controversial moments in House of the Dragon, then hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell, because here at Westeros Throne, we are breaking down every dragon-sized decision in the Seven Kingdoms. Let's get into it. Let me set the stage for you. King Viserys is dead. The Greens have executed their coup faster than you can say treason, and they are about to crown Aegon II as king in the Dragon Pit. Meanwhile, Rhaenys Targaryen, the queen who never was, is being held prisoner in the Red Keep. Now, most people in her position would probably just wait out, maybe write a strongly worded letter of protest. But Rhaenys? This woman decides to break out of the Red Keep, sneak into the Dragon Pit through the underground tunnels, mount her massive dragon malaise, and crash Aegon's coronation like the world's most dramatic party crasher. We're talking about bursting through the floor, sending small folk flying, and staring down the entire Green faction while sitting on a beast that could turn them all into barbecue in about 3 seconds. Here's where things get spicy. Rhaenys as Alicent, Aegon, Helena, Criston Cole, and basically everyone responsible for stealing Rhaenyra's throne standing right in front of her. They are terrified, frozen, completely at her mercy. Malaise could open her jaws, and the dance of the dragons would be over before it even started. No war, no death, no devastation. Just one quick blast of fire, and Rhaenyra's path to the throne is clear. But Rhaenys does not do it. She stares them down for what feels like an eternity, lets out a dragon roar that probably made everyone in King's Landing need new pants, and then just flies away. Roll credits. The internet collectively lost its mind. So what was going through Rhaenys' head in that moment? Why did she pull the ultimate power move and then not follow through? Let's break down the psychology and politics of this decision, because trust me, it is way more complicated than just she did not want to kill them. First off, let's talk about who Rhaenys is as a person. This woman was passed over for the throne decades ago, simply because she was born female. The Great Council of 101 after Christ chose Viserys over her, even though she had the stronger claim. She has lived her entire life watching lesser men get opportunities she deserved. She is called the Queen Who Never Was, which is basically a participation trophy in royal form. So you would think she would be all in on supporting Rhaenyra, right? Another woman fighting for her rightful place on the throne? Well, yes and no, because Rhaenys is also deeply aware of the cost of ambition and the price of war. Here is the thing that a lot of viewers miss. Rhaenys has already lost so much to Targaryen politics. Her son Laenor allegedly died because of the schemes and chaos surrounding the throne. Her daughter Lena died tragically. Her grandchildren are caught in the middle of this succession crisis. This woman has paid the price of the Game of Thrones over and over again. So when she is sitting on Malaise, staring at Alicent and her family, she is not just seeing enemies. She is seeing mothers, children, and people who are about to be consumed by the same brutal game that has taken everything from her. But hold up, before we paint Rhaenys as some kind of saint, let us address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the pile of dead small folk under the dragon's feet. Because Rhaenys absolutely killed innocent people when she burst through the dragon pit floor. Those people were just there to witness a coronation, and they got crushed by falling debris and trampled in the chaos. So this whole moral high ground argument gets a little shaky when you realize she was fine with collateral damage, but drew the line at directly killing the Greens. That is some interesting ethical calculus right there. Now let us talk about the political angle, because Rhaenys is not just operating on emotions. She is one of the smartest political minds in Westeros. If she kills the Greens right there in the Dragon Pit, yes, she eliminates Rhaenyra's immediate rivals. But she also becomes a kinslayer and a child killer, two of the most cursed labels you can have in Westeros. Aegon and Helena's children were right there. Alicent is the widow of King Viserys. Killing them would make Rhaenys, and by extension Rhaenyra, look like monsters. It would turn public opinion against them faster than you could say war crime. Plus, and this is crucial, it is not actually Rhaenys' decision to make. She is not the heir. She is not the queen. Rhaenyra is, and Rhaenys knows that starting a war, committing regicide, and murdering half the royal family on her own authority would be a massive overstep. Even if she thinks it is the right tactical move, it is not her call. She will be taking away Rhaenyra's agency to decide how to handle her own succession crisis. And given that Rhaenys has spent her whole life being denied choices and power, she is not about to do that to another woman. Here is another layer that makes this even more complex. Rhaenys respects the rule of law and the proper order of things, even when that order has screwed her over repeatedly. She is old-school Targaryen nobility. She believes in oaths, in honor, in doing things the right way. Just massacring the Greens, no matter how justified it might seem, goes against her core values. She is not Daemon, who would have torched them without a second thought. She is not Aemond, who is basically a war crime waiting to happen. She is Rhaenys, and she plays by a different set of rules. But let us be real for a second. The choice not to burn the Greens ends up costing thousands of lives. The Dance of the Dragons becomes one of the most devastating civil wars in Westerosi history. Dragons die, noble houses are destroyed, the small folk suffer unimaginable horrors. Rhaenys herself dies in battle later. So in hindsight, was her mercy actually merciful? Or was it just delaying the inevitable and making everything worse? This is where the debate gets really interesting. Some people argue that Rhaenys made the morally correct choice in the moment, even if the consequences were terrible. Others say she was naive, that she should have ended the threat when she had a chance. And you know what? Both sides have valid points. Because this is Game of Thrones, where there are no clean answers, and every choice comes with a body count. Let's talk about that stare down, though, because the cinematography of that scene is doing a lot of heavy lifting. When Rhaenys looks at Alicent, there's recognition there. Two women who have been used, manipulated, and constrained by the patriarchal power structures of Westeros. Alicent was married off to a man old enough to be her grandfather. Rhaenys was denied her birthright. They are both victims of the same system, even though they are on opposite sides of this conflict. In that moment, Rhaenys sees herself in Alicent. And maybe, just maybe, she is giving her a chance that she wishes someone had given her decades ago. But here's the kicker. Rhaenys' mercy is not actually mercy for Alicent and the Greens. It is a gift they do not deserve and will not appreciate. Because the Greens do not stop. They do not take this near-death experience as a sign to negotiate or find peace. They double down. They prepare for war. They hunt down Rhaenyra's allies. So Rhaenys' moment of restraint gets thrown back in her face, and the war happens anyway. Which kind of proves that sometimes in Westeros, hesitation is just another word for failure. There's also something to be said about the optics of this moment. Rhaenys bursting through the floor on Malaise is a massive power move. She is showing the entire city that the Greens do not have total control, that Team Black has dragons too, and that Aegon's coronation is illegitimate. She is making a statement without committing massacre. In terms of psychological warfare, it is actually pretty brilliant. She is saying we could end you right now, but we are choosing not to, which is almost more intimidating